Hello viewers and welcome back to the third and final installment of our Kualoa Ranch tour videos. There is a small museum in the Kualoa Ranch office at the beginning of the tour. You can even do this at the end of the tour like we did. If you have watched the part 1 and part 2 of the tour videos, you already know this by now. Kualoa Ranch has been the site of many Hollywood movies and TV productions. Friends, the Hawaiian culture is full of legends and fables and powerful stories. When you visit this museum, please plan to spend at least 30 minutes over here. Our bus tour guide did an excellent job at telling us the stories of this fabled place. So for the rest of this video, we will listen to her more and narrate less.
Since from the sperm whales was starting to wash up on Kualoa's lands. And these sperm whales, their teeth was in ivory. So the ancient Hawaiians used to carve that ivory teeth into a fishhook and held it around their necks with human braided hair. And they called it the Leiniho Kualoa. This is one of the reasons why these lands of Kualoa is significant and rich in history. Alright, so now we're going to be telling you the story about the mountains. So the ancient royal blooded Hawaiians, no, I'm not just talking ancient, this is the ancient royalties. They do believe that their power lies within their bones. So to keep their bones away from any enemy's hands, when an ancient royal blooded Hawaiian would pass away, its designated villagers would carry their bodies all the way to the very tip of these mountains. At the tip of these mountains, there's some very large caves. And inside of those caves, that's what they use as burial caves or burial grounds. There's also a very large lava tube that begins right here in Kualoa's lands. And inside of that lava tube, there are also very large caves. So these two large areas of caves on the tip of the mountains and inside of the lava tubes, these are the areas that are actually reserved to bury only the royalties. So, for those of you that heard of hei owls, don't get that confused. There are many hei owls throughout all of the Hawaiian Islands, but the hei owls are not used for the royalties. So, after the villagers are done burying their royalties into their respective caves on the very tip of these mountains, those villagers would then throw themselves off of the cliffs. This was to ensure that their tongues would speak of no word to any other villagers as to what caves they buried their ancestors in. The awesome part about all of this is they are actually still in their rightful resting places till this very day. Kualoa has never allowed anyone to come in to study our burial caves. Coming around the corner, you're going to see an area that we can, most of the times, not every time, but I'll say a good 85% of the time we get to see the wild boars. So we built an area for them because they were running across, causing a lot of accidents. And now, since we did that area, we monitor them. We even need them water and feed them. But if they're not over the mountains, then they won't be here. But I see them, so they go over the mountains. So, guys, over to the right-hand side, these are the wild pua'as, wild boars. These wild boars, or wild pua'as, they are predators in the Hawaiian Islands. The reason why they're predators is because they will grow up to be 350 pounds. Also, they have very long noses. And with their nose houses, they end up digging holes in the grounds, in the mountains. And then when it rains a lot, or when it rains very heavily, those holes will fill up with a lot of water. And that will bring in a massive amount of mosquitoes. And that's not good for any other predators we have here, any of the livestock we have here on our islands. So this is the wild koalas. They are considered predators. The other predator that we have on the islands is a mongoose. The mongoose, they look like a cross between a ferret and a squirrel. And the mongoose are predators because they eat our native birds and its eggs. The mongoose, however, is not native to the Hawaiian Islands. They were introduced into our islands. They were brought in to help us with the rat population when we had our plantation fields. So once they brought the mongooses over to our lands and they released them out into the wild, they soon discovered what a bad mistake. Because this mongoose, they're day hunters, and the rats, they're nocturnal. They hunt more at night. So very rarely would these two ever meet up. But other than those two predators, the mongoose and the waupua'as, we do not have any other predators that coexist with us in these lands. We do not have monkeys, tigers, gorillas, rattlesnakes, venomous snakes, tarantulas. Other than the Hawaiian monk seals and the green sea turtles, the only other things was ever found on these Hawaiian islands before any human contact was ever made was birds, snails, insects, and the Hawaiian moringa. So with no predators to them, they soon turned into be very invasive species found nowhere else on the planet but here in the Hawaiian Islands. The Hawaiian Islands is also known as one of the most inhabited places of the world, and this is because half of our species has already gone into extinction. And all of that occurred when the whalers and traders made their way to the Hawaiian Islands. Once their masters got off of their boats, so did their animals. And once their animals got lost in the wild, it caused a very, very negative impact on the Hawaiian Islands. Partly because the ecosystem here in the Hawaiian Islands is extremely fragile. This is one of the reasons why we are very watchful as to what comes into our lands by air and by sea. So if anyone is found bringing into the Hawaiian Islands an illegal plant or an illegal animal, their fine would be up to 3 years in prison and up to $250,000 in fines. So it is a very stiff penalty, but it is very much needed here on the Hawaiian Islands. The building that you're going to see coming up to the right-hand side, that is our Paliku Gardens. It is one of our venues that we utilize for parties here, or people get ready for weddings. But this building once hosted two very famous people. That was Mrs. Michelle Obama and the Dalai Lama. Shaped land smacked into the water. That is called a Mokuli'i Island. Mokuli'i means the tail of a giant tadpole lizard that's called mo'o. So the legend tells it that goddess Hi'iaka, she goes up on a journey into the mountains. While on that journey, she stumbles on that mo'o, and that mo'o refuses to let her pass the path. So she battles with that mo'o for 3 days. She then kills that mo'o, tears its tail apart, and swings it into the water. And that's why it is called Mo'oli'i Island. It is best known as Chinaman's Hat, or aka Chinaman's Hat. The reason it's called Chinaman's Hat is because our Chinese men, they were the very first immigrants to come to our lands to work in our plantation fields. And when their boat finally arrived on Oahu, they docked over at the Honolulu docks. And when the Chinese men came off of their boats, each and every one of them had hats on their heads shaped just like that. And that is why till this very day it is called Chinaman's Hat. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from the beginning of the tour, I told you you were going to get a massive amount of information.
And with that, friends, we come to an end of our video. Thanks a lot for watching. This is a great place you all should definitely visit if you ever get a chance. And finally, friends, as new YouTubers, we are doing our best. If you can hit that like button, that will be a great help to us. If you have any comments or feedback, please utilize the comment section below. And of course, please consider sharing and subscribing.